about assault. In some of the cases that you read, you may see the assault defined as an intentional, unlawful offer to touch the person of another, which creates a well-founded fear of an imminent battery coupled with the apparent present ability to effectuate the attempt. Now, this picture here, you see the young lady is hiding her face because it appears that someone is getting ready to hit her. So this is a classic example of assault. But we'll come back to this picture at the end. Let's break down this rule, and we'll really focus on the first half of the rule. Intent. I'm sure you remember this. So you've read about it now, and you've probably heard Professor Morris talk about it as well. Intent is defined as acting for the purpose of producing the consequences or acting with substantial certainty that the consequences will be produced. In the context of assault, the actor is acting for the purpose of producing apprehension of a harmful or offensive contact, or the actor is acting with substantial certainty that the apprehension of the harmful or offensive contact will be produced. Sometimes students have difficulty determining the difference between assault and battery, because if you look at the rule for assault, you can almost see the rule for battery within the rule for assault. How do you distinguish this? Well, focus on what interest is being protected. With assault, the interest being protected is the freedom from apprehension of a harmful or offensive contact. Look at the picture here. Quit almost touching me. Remember, assault is about the apprehension, not about the contact, right? And so even though the intent to produce a battery or the intent to commit a harmful or offensive contact may result in an assault if the contact doesn't actually occur, the intent to commit an assault is really about the apprehension and not about the contact itself. Seen another way, the restatement approaches assault this way. An actor is subject to a liability to another for assault if he acts intending to cause a harmful or offensive contact. That sounds like battery with the person of the other or a third person, or an imminent apprehension of such contact, which sounds like an assault. So the actor is intending to cause a battery or intending to cause an assault. And this is the important part, the other is thereby put in such imminent apprehension. So the actor is intending the apprehension, and the receiver is actually in apprehension. Right? So he acts intending a battery, or he acts intending an assault, and that this apprehension is produced. Now, let's take a look at this picture. So, on one hand, our potential plaintiff is saying, I'm afraid you're going to hit me. Now, I've substituted the term afraid, but really when we consider assault, we should be saying apprehension. So our potential plaintiff is saying, I'm in apprehension that you're going to hit me. While our potential defendant says, I want you to think that I will hit you, right? So language from our rule says the potential plaintiff is in apprehension of an imminent harmful or offensive contact, and our potential defendant is intending to cause a harmful or offensive contact or apprehension, right? So one is saying, I am intending to cause this apprehension, and the other one is actually in apprehension of the consequences. Now, remember there are two sides to an assault. Now, we saw this in the previous slide, but remember, the defendant or potential defendant acted intentionally, and the plaintiff or potential plaintiff must have had a well-founded apprehension. The plaintiff is in apprehension of the contact, and the defendant intentionally acts to cause apprehension of the harmful or offensive contact. If either of these conditions is not met, there is no assault. In some cases, you'll see the following language. Every battery includes an assault, but every assault does not necessarily require a battery to complete it. Now, this is not true. Every battery does not include an assault. Take a look at the picture here. The woman is sneaking up behind the man, intending to cause a harmful or offensive contact, right? This battery, represented by the photo, does not include an assault because he does not have apprehension. He doesn't see her coming. There's no apprehension of a harmful or offensive contact. She can commit the harmful or offensive contact by sneaking up behind him, and he would never have an apprehension, thereby leaving you with a battery but no assault. In the same way, assault does not necessarily require a battery. Even if the actor is intending to cause a battery, the actor intends to cause a harmful or offensive contact. If the contact does not actually result, then there's no battery. But if she had apprehension, or if he had apprehension of a harmful or offensive contact, then you have satisfied the requirements for assault. So let's go back. Remember our initial picture. Here, the lady, by covering her face, is in apprehension of a harmful or offensive contact. And here, this actor, by raising his fist and leaning towards her, is intending to either cause the apprehension of a harmful or offensive contact or to actually cause a harmful or offensive contact. But where we are in this snapshot represents assault. Remember, the case law definition of assault is an intentional, unlawful offer to touch the person of another, which creates a well-founded fear